What's good? What's good? What's good? We back at it. Fitness Jams Unlocked. Coach Cam here. I'm just trying to give you guys as much info I can give you, especially in other areas of your life, not just fitness related. I want to make sure you guys are leveling up in every aspect of your life. So, with that being said, today's topic, we talking about procrastination. And this one's dear to me because I've been procrastinating for a very long time. I've been procrastinating since like elementary, in school, sports, all those different things, and career-wise, trying to start a business, applying for all those things, right? So we're gonna talk about it today. Got lots of notes in today. We're gonna run it through, all right? So procrastination. There's gonna basically be 3 steps you need to run yourself through to start making a new habit, right? Because procrastination is a habit. Let's get down to it first. It is a habit, and it's different than laziness, right? Because procrastination is a choice, right? Laziness is an inaction, right? So procrastination is choosing to delay something versus laziness, which is basically saying, I'm just not gonna do it at all, right? So we gotta make sure we understand that first. There's a difference, right? First step is you gotta recognize the behavior. You gotta recognize that you're doing it, right? Take a look at yesterday. Take a look at a day that you felt wasn't very productive for you, or you didn't get a lot of things done, and analyze yourself. Take a look at the things that you did, right? Take a look at the actions and see, okay, what happened here? Or, what actions did I do today? What things did I get done? Were they high priority tasks? Were they low priority things? Were they things that I waited to get done at a certain time? Were they things that I waited to feel like I was in the right mood to do it? And here's a really big one that I definitely struggle with. Was it one, or do you fill your time with unimportant tasks that other people ask you to do, right? Before you do tasks that are already on your list? Woo! Yeah, let me run that one back. That's a big one. So you fill your time with unimportant tasks that other people ask you to do instead of getting on the ones you already have on your list, right? If you're doing that, you procrastinate, okay? I did that, so I was procrastinating. So recognize first. Recognize that you're doing it, okay? That's step 1. Step 2 is the next you're going to figure out why. What's the reason that you're procrastinating, right? So if you're doing all those actions that you looked at, second step is you're gonna figure out why. So if you are, an unorganized person, you might be procrastinating. If you're a person that doesn't make to-do lists, you don't practice planning, you don't make a schedule for yourself, or maybe you find a task in the day unpleasant. You don't like doing that, right? Maybe that's a reason you're putting it off, right? So whatever your reason is for why you're procrastinating on a certain task that's high priority, you gotta recognize that why, okay? That's step 2. Those first 2 steps are important. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to do step 3, okay? So 1 was recognize the behavior, recognize that you're doing it. 2 is figure out why you're doing it, okay? And another part on part 2 is another part for me was being a perfectionist, right? So often I would procrastinate basically because I felt like everything had to be perfect first before I could do it, right? And here's what I've learned. Imperfect action will always be perfect inaction, right? So taking one step that's not perfect is always going to be better than taking no steps that are perfect. Right? Because over time, what's going to add up? All those imperfect actions are going to add up. And action is inaction too. So there you go. All right? It's in there. Okay? So once you've got those lined out, you recognize that you're doing it. You figure out your why you're doing it. 3, you got to commit. You got to commit to new actions, right? Just with like any habit, it has to be removed and then replaced. If you remove a habit and then don't replace it, the habit will always come back. Guaranteed. I guarantee. If you try something, you try like, I'm gonna stop doing this. Week later, it came back, right? because you haven't replaced it actively with something new. Okay? So you have to implement new strategies that are like anti-procrastination. Put those in there, okay? So some of those are gonna be, first thing is gonna be forgiving yourself. You're gonna be like, man, in the past I procrastinated. I forgive myself for doing that, right? I didn't have the thought process to do it, to not do it, right? So forgive yourself first. Take that step, recognize you messed up. It's okay, and move forward with your new self. What you're gonna do, okay? So now you're gonna start focusing on doing rather than focusing on avoiding, right? You're gonna focus on planning. You're gonna focus on scheduling. All these new things you're gonna do, right? Another thing you do is, promise to give yourself a reward, right? After I complete this task, I'm gonna reward myself, right? Or if you have a really big task, break it into small chunks. See how much you can do in 15 minutes of that big task. Break it up into little parts. And then over time, when you get these little tiny wins, they're all gonna add up to the big win all together, okay? So try that one too. That's a good one. Let's see what else we got. Another one, big one. This was big. This is one of the reasons I made this group for fitness is accountability. Having someone or people in your community, people in your group, in your circle that holds you accountable, right? You're gonna ask them and say, hey, I'm working on doing this today. I want you to check in on me at this time to make sure I'm still doing it, right? If someone's in your circle that's, positively impacting you and wants to see you successful, wants to see you do that, like me, I wanna see y'all do that, okay? Just reach out to them. Hey, I'm trying to get this done today. Can you check on me on this time and see how I'm doing? Simple, right? Simple. Just put those simple things in there. Use your team, okay? That's what a team is for, to hold you accountable, all right? Use your team. So that's a big one right there. Your self-talk, right? So rephrasing how you talk about the tasks and the actions that you do. So instead of saying, oh, I have to go do this, or I need to go do this, right? Instead of saying those, where when you say those, you're actually taking away your power and you're taking away the choice to do those things when you say that, right? So instead, I want you to say, I choose to do these things, right? Because if it's an important task that you want to do, you're gonna choose it, right? Make the choice to do it, okay? So saying that out loud is gonna give you that power back and that choice to say, I choose to get this done. I choose to do this at this time, right? So changing our vocabulary, change how we approach it, it's gonna always be better, absolutely. And then another thing too, I think for me, this one's not as effective, but for someone else it might be. Think about what happens if you don't do this task. So at the end of the day, if you don't get this done, what's gonna happen? What are the consequences of not completing this task? That's another way to think about it as well. For me, it's not as effective, but it's still try to keep it in the back of my mind as well. With all this going on, because this is a habit I'm trying to break too, right? I'm actively on it. Okay, so yeah, that's what I got. Number 3, you're gonna start committing those new action steps, those new strategies for yourself. Here's a couple more just to run back. You can make those to-do lists first. Prioritize your list, high priority versus low priority, right? So making your to-do list is great. That's a great first step if you're not really good at planning and scheduling and being organized. Once you've made your to-do list, to up it a little bit, prioritize it, okay? Put it into categories, high priority, low priority, right? Then once you've got those 2 lists, now you got to look at yourself in your day and say, all right, at this time is when I have the most energy, I'm the most productive, I feel like I can get the most work done, right? If that's in the morning, afternoon, at night, whatever time that is, put those high priority tasks at those times, right? Because in the past, we've been putting low priority tasks or other people's tasks at those times, right? So now you're gonna flip the script. Flip the script on it, right? You're putting your new high priority task at the times you're most productive and effective, right? So make sure you do that. Those are gonna be key for you right there, all right? So become a master of your schedule, become a master of planning, all right? Having a plan means nothing. But planning is everything, because planning is an action. Plan is just something that's there, right? Because if I write out my plan for the day, but my day gets thrown with some curveballs, some new things come thrown in my face, now my plan means nothing because my day's screwed up, right? So you got to be actively planning, right? It's an action. Those are action steps, right? Practicing that daily is gonna create the new habit that you have for yourself. Okay. Let's see. So like I said, tackle those hard tasks at the peak times that you have the most energy, you feel the most productive, when you get the most work done. Put those there. That's gonna be key. And then set a time limit on certain goals you have. So say you have a long-term goal, maybe it's a 6-month goal, a 3-month goal, year-long goal. Set those time limits for it, right? But also break it up into chunks. Like, I'm gonna complete this week. We're gonna complete this on this day. If it's a daily task that you're trying to get done, set yourself a timer. Let's see how much I can do in 15 minutes. Totally focused on it. Ooh, okay, I got this far. That's pretty good. Reward yourself, okay? Make sure you reward yourself, okay? Be kind to yourself, reward yourself. That's pretty much what I got right there. Creating those small tasks, breaking up over time so you can add them up to make a big win. That's gonna be key right there. All right. So I think that's all on my notes on that. Overcome the procrastination. Ooh, that's gonna be key right there. All right. So that's all I got for today. I did put a little post up about doing some group workouts in the group. So if anybody's interested in doing some they were free. I meant to try to say that, free. So a free group workout on Saturdays or sometime on the weekend. If you guys want to just hop on live or hop on a Zoom, more than happy to, to help you guys out. And then if you got some questions about this training and this procrastination, feel free to reach out. Happy to help, and happy to help keep you accountable as well as me. All right. So hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for watching. If you're on the replay, let me know if you is. You know what I'm saying? Leave a little comment, put a little hashtag replay if you watch this. All right, maybe I'll shoot you something. Okay? Y'all have a good night.